Hey everyone, my name is Danny Dumas, and this is the Earn Your Title podcast. Today, I'm going to be giving you three questions. Three questions you should be asking yourself every time you get ready to answer somebody else's questions, or maybe don't answer them at all. So what do I mean? I think as men, we have this deep-seated idea of that we should be the person that is fixing problems. You know, someone says something, I'm having a hard time at work, and we have a solution to that problem. But if you've been married for any amount of time, you realize that's probably a bad idea. That's not actually what we want to be doing. We don't want to always be solving problems because people are not asking for solutions. Specifically our wives. They're not asking what we should or shouldn't be doing. They're just trying to get something off their chest. And I still struggle with this today, and I've struggled with this throughout my marriage, and I've been married for 19 years. And I just read something, and it just completely opened my mind, and it came from a school teacher. She taught young elementary school kids, and she asked three questions, and I think it's totally appropriate for kids. This might be appropriate for your wife. If you work in a field that's a bunch of men like I do, they're going to make fun of you if you ask them the questions. But these are the three questions. Someone comes up to you, and they are telling you something, and you're not sure whether or not you should be giving them advice or just listening. These are the three questions you need to either ask in your mind or physically ask out loud. Are you asking me to hug you, hear you, or help you? Man, when I read that, or when I heard that, I was like, that is genius. Those are the answers to the three questions. And what I would experience is my wife would come home from work, and she would say, I don't know what to do. And as soon as I heard her say, I don't know what to do, I think she's asking me a question. She doesn't know what to do. But the next thing is really important, because that's going to give you the indicator of what you should actually be doing, what you should be getting ready to respond to. So you're listening. She goes, I don't know what to do. I feel bad. I feel stressed out. I feel worried. That is the actual question she's asking. It's not the I don't know what to do. That's just starting the conversation. The I feel, whatever the negative emotion is, that is the start of the I need you to hear me question. And as a guy, it's so hard because they're going to lay out this problem, and in your head, you have solutions. You know, my coworker has done this, and they're disrespectful, and they're causing stress amongst the group, and it just, I wake up in the morning dreading going to work, and you think, then quit your job, go apply for another job, and you say that, and your wife says, are you not listening to me? I love my job. I love the people I work with. And you just said, well, it's because you were having a I feel conversation, and the I feel conversations are almost 100%, I need you to hear me. I just need to get this off my chest. I need to get this out into the world. I need to just get these emotions out. And you were having a fix it conversation, let me help you conversation, and she wanted to have a hear me conversation. And there's a disconnect. And then you get frustrated because you're helping, you're trying to do what you think is right, what feels natural to you. She's upset because you're not listening. And you're like, I am listening. I'm trying my best to listen. I really want to watch this football game, but I turned it off. I paused it so we could talk. But there's the three conversations. The hear me conversation is probably what most of the, and for lack of a better word, the complaining conversations you're going to have with your wife, your kids, probably even your coworkers, those are more than likely, that's the conversation you're going to have. And so there's a few things that you can kind of pick up. If someone starts with an emotion, even if it starts with, I don't know what to do, which seems like a can you help me question, but it's not. I feel this way. And your main job is probably just to ask questions, to inform them that their feelings are okay, that they're valid. There's if your wife is frustrated at work, maybe it's a little bit of here and a little bit of hug. Man, I'm so sorry you have to go through that. I really know that's the way you feel. And one of the things that I think is hard is when you have a little bit of emotional space from a situation, like I don't work where my wife works, and she has some emotional things going on there, I can come from a logical point of view and say, well, is that the facts, or is that how you feel? And we use this with our kids all the time. You know, your kids will come home and it's like, I have no friends. I feel like nobody likes me. And we'll say, are those facts or those feelings? And while we do want them to understand that there is a difference, usually as a parent and as a husband, that's not the first go-to, because you need to validate their feelings, because they are feeling. The feeling of, I have no friends, that is true. Now, is that fact of I have no friends true? No, it's not. But I think it's okay to say, is that the way you feel, that is valid right now. I can see why, because you didn't get invited to the birthday party at school and you feel like you have no friends, and I know that's really hard. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think we want to fix people's illogical response to emotional situations, and that's usually a bad idea. I would say almost always a bad idea. Now, if it's to the super extreme and maybe you got to like dial it back in a little bit, you're trying to get them out of a mental funk or something and you're trying to show them another way, I can understand that a little bit. But for the most part, they know deep down inside that they do have friends. They know deep down inside that they don't hate their job. They know these things. And at that moment, they're just feeling bad. They're feeling upset. They're feeling disappointed. And they just want you to say, that feeling is valid. It is a totally valid feeling. And I believe that you feel that way. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with saying, I believe you feel that way right now. Why? Why do you feel that way? And you just go through and you ask them the questions that they need to hear so that they can get out the feeling and eventually come to hopefully a logical understanding of, you know what, you're right. I'm just maybe, I'm tired and I just needed to get this off my chest, and thank you. And you're going, I didn't do anything. And they're thinking, man, I have such a great husband. Man, my dad is so awesome. He's such a great communicator. And you're thinking, I didn't say anything. I just basically said what you said and said that, I understand why you feel like that. Those feelings are valid. That's legit. I understand. And you kept repeating that over and over and over. And they're like, this is absolutely amazing. Now, I don't think this is helpful in every case, because there are going to be times where your wife comes home and says, I don't know what to do. I've got a PowerPoint due tomorrow, this presentation, and the slides won't work, and I can't get the animation to flip around, and then I can't email it. Can you help me? And man, as a man, you're like, yes. Let me hang on. I'm going to go watch 5 YouTube videos, and then we're going to sit down, and I'm going to give you the absolutely best PowerPoint presentation anybody's ever seen, and you get to go to work, and you get to do your thing because you were listening. She didn't say, I'm really dreading this PowerPoint presentation tomorrow because I hate talking in front of people. I don't know what to do. The slides aren't working. I can't figure this out. Well, it started with an emotion, and almost, remember, go back. If it starts with an emotion, I'm afraid because I hate speaking in front of people, then it's probably just a hear me conversation. She's probably fine. They're not going to have any problems with the presentation. It's perfect. They're just having nerves, and you go back to, talking in front of people is really tough, but I've seen you do it, and you are awesome. You're going to do so good. You encourage them, and that's a little bit of the hug, right? You're not just hearing. They need a little bit of, you're going to do great, a little bit of pep talk. But my slides won't work. I can't get it to email to my boss, blah, blah, blah. Then jump in and help. And the help me, hear me, and hug me, what a great framework for everything. Now, like, again, I said, I might say that to my wife, hey, do you need a hug? Do you need help? Or do you need me to hear? Because I'm not, and come from the form of, especially if you're a new husband, hey, man, I'm not good at this. Every time you say something, I think you need me to help you. And so I'm going to actually ask. So don't be offended when I say, do you need help? Do you need a hug? Do you need me to hear you? Now, guys at work, if I said, hey, bud, what's going on? You need a hug? They'd probably make fun of me and never talk to me again. But in my head, I'm going to be, what is the point of this conversation? And we get this all the time. You get a coworker who comes into your office and just unloads about the new policy, the new procedures, the guy, the girl they work with, something dumb. And in your head, like, I got work to do. What's the problem? Let's fix it so this never happens again. And, that's probably not the thing that they need to hear. They probably just need to be heard, or to be, if it's appropriate, hugged. Probably not a whole lot of hugging going on at work, but you never know. Sometimes a little, pat on the shoulder can be a good thing as long as it's appropriate. Although I feel like with today's current, I don't know, the way the world is right now, any physical contact is probably instantly go to HR. But there's some room for a, hand on the shoulder, and it's going to be okay. And I hear you, and those feelings are valid. So this is a very simple podcast today. I I think, we sometimes we make things really complicated, and just having a few mental frameworks to fall back on. Like if you think about one of the core tenets of the Navy SEALs, which are probably the most elite combat unit in the world, it's shoot, move, and communicate. And they just practice those things. If you're not shooting, then you should be moving. If you're getting ready to move, you should be communicating. As husbands, fathers, and leaders, we don't have to make this very complicated. When people want to talk to us, do they want to be heard, hugged, or helped? Go, it's easy. And then if you keep yourself thinking about that, if you continually just realize that you want to be the best person there, you want to be present, and what do they need, and give it to them, man, you're going to be knocking it out of the park. So this was a hopefully a simple idea, not a very long podcast. I wanted to give that to you. And I wanted to ask you one more thing. I really, as a podcaster, as this content creator, as I'm kind of getting into this role, I want to have a more one-on-one connection with the guys that are listening to this podcast. And I'd like to offer some just one-on-one accountability. I want to be your accountability partner, and I'm looking for 3 guys. This is free of charge. This is just me wanting to kind of get out into the real world and stop staring at a camera and talking to a microphone. I'm looking for 3 guys that would like to get on a phone call with me, and that they have a goal. And in 6 months, they kind of know where they want to be, and I want to spend 2 weeks running towards that goal as hard as possible and really accomplish some big things. So the way this would work is we would get on a phone call together, or Zoom, or maybe a video podcast like this. Maybe you'd want to come on the show, but not needed. And we would talk about, hey, in 6 months, if your life was significantly better, why would it be better? What would you have in place? Would you be healthier? Would you have got a promotion at work? Would you have become a better communicator with your wife? What would these things look like? And then let's make a plan, and in 2 weeks, let's go all out. Because I think sometimes we get a big plan, and it just seems way too big. Like, there's no way on earth I could ever accomplish something 3 years down the road. I want to, be debt-free, start my own business, have a great relationship, all these things. But 6 months out, like, okay, I could see how my life could be better. I could see what I need to do to get there. And I think a 2-week time period, you can actually crush goals. You can do so much more, and I want to be there to help you be accountable. So we'd get there, we'd make a plan, we'd interact for a 2-week, maybe 3-week period, and then we'd get back together and say, where are you at? And then I'd just kind of give you the push for the next, the next 30, 40 days. I would really like to reach out. So if that's something you're interested in, I'm going to leave a way to contact me in the show notes. If you're a personal friend, just give me a text or call. And yeah, I'm excited about this. So this has been the Earn Your Title podcast, and my name is Danny Dumas, and I will talk to you later. Bye.